Mr. is busy learning to shave. Brother just loves his family way. It's hard to tell them apart today. Hey, hey, girls were girls and boys were boys when I was a tot. Now we don't know who is who or who but what's what. Knickers and trousers, baggy and wide. Nobody knows who's walking inside. Those masculine women and feminine men.
Place. Differently abled peoples, Asian American stereotypes, such as the Charlie Chan films or the Mr. Wong films, abounded, particularly during World War II. There were a number of incredibly offensive Asian American stereotypes that were used.
You have been chosen to take part in a great mission as the instruments of my destiny.
When my father gives an order, you will obey or die.
Centuries ago, an ancient race conquered this continent. Now their secrets are mine, and with this knowledge, I shall master the world.
Power of ancient poison transmit to this girl, so that she will destroy the enemies in our path. Strike Nayland Smith.
A most persistent man. He must be eliminated.
For heaven's sake, Petrie, go after!
The hunt for a lost civilization brings Assistant Commissioner Nayland Smith's agents into Fu Manchu's secret territory.
Nayland Smith has many spies. Lopez might be one of them.
Christopher Lee.
You will seek out my enemies, and you will destroy them.
Sai Chin.
They tell me you can dance. Tonight, you will dance for the last time.
Richard Green.
I can't see. I'm blind.
Maria Rom. Shirley Eaton. Howard Marion Crawford.
Have you ever heard of the kiss of death?
No.
Somehow, the poison was transmitted. And after a few days, the victim died. But first, he went blind. Within a few seconds of receiving the kiss of death, Fu Manchu is in that region of South America, protected on one side by the Andes, and on the other by the Mato Grosso. Fu Manchu is there, of that I'm certain. He found the poison. Only he may know the antidote.
The blood of Fu Manchu. And the only man who can save Nayland Smith from an ancient and deadly poison is Dr. Fu Manchu, his greatest enemy.
Oscar Michaud, the pioneering director who made something like 35 films entirely on his own on budgets of $10,000 to $5,000 to represent the African American experience on the screen because it simply wasn't being shown in Hollywood movies.
This is the Black Network Company, presenting for the first time the Pullman Porter Shoe Polish Variety Program.
Well, hallelujah!
What is that, Miss Nina? Now listen, Gates, you run along and chase yourself. This pie ain't ready yet.
Well, what kind of pie is that, Miss Nina?
That's a blackbird pie.
A blackbird pie? There ain't no such thing as a blackbird pie.
Why, don't you contradict me. Don't you remember that song I used to sing for you when you were a little pickaninny? Niners places in the kitchen. Here's the reason why. 'Cause the master says it takes a blackbird to make the sweetest kind of pie.
You'll miss your little little daddy mama some of these days.
Fight!
Take that. You take that. I'll bust your head. Lazy town. 1 hour stop for lunch.
Nowhere to wash clothes. What's your arm needs rhythm?
What do you all mean, rhythm?
I'll show you what I mean. In Harlem, there's a little place where everyone goes to see the way a washerwoman washes her clothes.
If you like boogie woogie rhythm, she's gotta be at the boogie woogie washerwoman. Give you a treat on every afternoon. That's when the sessions begin, and all the boys from all the bands come down and sit in. They sit around and knock each other out when they play, while the boogie woogie washerwoman washes all day. Run me up, that's just the way she runs. Run me up, that's just the way she runs. Run me up, she wears her all and she rubs and rubs and knuckles right on down to the left. Run me up, that's how she kicks it off. Run me up, she kicks it nice and soft. Run me up, and I'm one of those. Run me, mama, with the boogie beat. You really are twisted there if you've never been. It doesn't cost a penny, just come down and walk in. If you like boogie woogie rhythm, you'll get a treat. That's the boogie woogie, what you wanna get to the beat.
Rubbly up dub. She rubs and rubs the knuckles right on down to the nub, yeah. And she keeps it nice and soft.
Someone hold it all.
Scrub me, mama, with a boogie beat.
Rub, 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 rubbing all day. Scrub, 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 scrubbing away. Scrub me, mama, beat me, mama, rub me, mama, scrub me, mama, mama. Rub-de-dub-dub, oh, I shall get some of her rub-de-dub-dub. Surely, when I met her rub-de-dub-dub. It's the yellow-belly, oh, come on down, there is a treat to serve for you. There is nothing for you to do but let the boogie-woogie wassum and scrub you. Let the boogie-woogie be.
Gay and lesbian stereotypes also dominated the screen during this period. And this is only, there were Jewish stereotypes as well. In pre-code films, this ethnicity was more or less acknowledged but not satirized. But as it moved forward in the 1950s, these things became much more pronounced.
That's a Jewish star. I thought you said it was Arabic. I thought it was Arabic.
Yes, they fought savagely, for they were a primitive people, and self-preservation is a primitive instinct.
They say history is written by the winners, and that's surely the case when it comes to the way Native Americans have been portrayed in the movies. Now, we all know that every movie needs a villain, but during the last 100 years, more than 4,000 movies have cast Indians in that role, depicting them as bloodthirsty savages.
Scenes of peaceful wagon trains being attacked by marauding Indians were common plot devices in Westerns.
I grew up at...
Turn around, Dirt.
That was in the late 40s, and I was in elementary school in Vallejo, California. Because of those...
So we never saw our own image in...
Indian, run their dot-gum, dot-blasted sheep over our land just like they owned it.
Why don't they stay on the reservations where they belong?
The white men of the West cannot and will not recognize the testimony of those Indians who slaughtered, massacred, and ambushed our parents.
Tribes of the North meet at River Rock to once and forever wipe out all white.
Well, I think that the bottom line is they weren't looking for an accurate portrayal.
Man doesn't forget easily when his wife and kids were butchered.
Cheyenne, wasn't it?
Cheyenne, Apache, Blackfoot Sioux. They're vicious killers, all of them. They ain't even human.
Not only was the portrayal of the Native American unrealistically negative, but the portrayal of the white man was often unrealistically positive.
Ultimately, you have some contest between the white guy and the other, and the white guy beats him every time. He's better at being an Indian than they are. There's nothing a white man's not better at being than an Indian.
Horrifying pages in the bloody annals of Indian warfare. A vivid recreation of the day when a lost patrol found the garrison of Fort Bowie slaughtered to the last man.
Tomahawk Trail is it talks about Indian ferocity. It talks about Apache atrocities. It shows essentially the American Army and American settlers outnumbered and threatened by an overwhelming force of Native Americans.
Never have so few so bitterly avenged the victims of Apache savagery.
It was just the opposite historically. we're talking about the Native Americans, were overwhelmed.
What happened?
They've had their hair cut by Huron barbers.
How can you speak so unfeelingly?
I'm feeling, Miss Monroe. I knew these folks and blazed the trail that brought them here. This is how my parents died. Fire and scalping knife.
Thanks to Hollywood, this country refuses to face what happened to Indian people.
It takes a blue coat to make a white man a soldier. But a Cheyenne is a soldier from the first slap on his butt. War is his life. He's fierce, he's smart. And he's meaner than sin.
And scalps to the Indians, Major, like your medals, and got them by the same means, killing.
By ignoring the Indian and what we have to say,